Hi, we're back from break. We've finished up what's going on.
What's going on in the world today?
But now, that leads us to our next segment. This is Real Talk with the Bear and the Beard and Cody and Wes.
Dude, that was dramatic. I like that.
I know, it's Real Talk. We got to get real deep.
I like that.
And we're going to revisit a question we've discussed before while kind of getting ready for this. So I'll just get right into it. Boys, men, hypothetical situation here. Let's say you were approached by someone. We'll just leave them unnamed.
Any old guy.
Yeah, just say it's an old guy. You're approached by some old man. A mysterious old man.
Okay.
Long white beard, definitely wearing a trench coat. But he's got a real kind of like Gandalf, Obi-Wan Kenobi vibe to him, like he knows some stuff. And he comes up to you and he hands you an envelope. And in that envelope, I just pronounced it two different ways. That was weird. In that envelope is a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper is the exact day and moment in which you will die, guaranteed. And he gives you the option to either open the envelope and look at it, so therefore you'll know when you will die, not able to change it, or to just pass on looking at it. And in this hypothetical situation, you just know this is all true. So we don't have to worry about, oh, is he lying? No. He for sure knows when you're going to die. So the question is, would you choose to look at it or to not look at it, and why?
No way, dude. I'm not looking at it.
No?
No. That would drive you absolutely insane. Just counting down the days.
You don't think it would drive you insane to be like, now you're thinking about when you're going to die, but you don't know?
That's how normal life is.
Yeah, but it's kind of out of sight, out of mind.
That's how it would be if someone offered me the letter.
I
Well,
guess you're right.
no, in
Nothing would
normal
change.
life, you don't think, wow, I had the chance to know, and now I don't know.
I don't know.
Right, so your team, no way I'm not looking.
Nah, I'm going to go with like a 90% not looking because I see the other side of it, but there's no chance I would take it.
You see the Weston, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm 100%. I would definitely look at it.
Okay,
I knew you were the other way.
I assumed you were going to be team look at it, and that's why I asked. So,
Yeah, dude.
do you have any reasons off your dome of why you would want to look at it?
I'm really interested.
Yeah,
Because I just, right as soon as I asked it, my brain went to reasons on both sides.
you would want to know so you can. It'd be nice to be able to plan your life. Like, let's say if you're gonna die in like 40 years or whatever, then it's like, okay, who cares? That's basically how you're living your life already.
Okay.
Because that's like when you plan on dying.
So you're
Okay.
saying the number is going to change the way you live your life.
Right.
What are you going to do if it says a week?
Just hang out with my family, and see that's why I would want to know. If you have a short time, spend time with your family and friends and just chill. And if you didn't look at it, you're going to work, busting your butt every day, and then you're dead. What a waste of the last week of your life.
I see that. See, that was one of the things I thought of was depending on how much time you have, it will change the way you interact with your life. And like at first, my first thought was like, no, man, I'm not going to look at it. I should live every day like it's my last. And I've heard a lot of people say that. And I think when we talked about it, yeah, you kind of voiced that opinion. But I'm saying, say I looked at it and I was given 1 week to live. That week would be filled with all the things like the top of my priority list of things to do before I die. And
Like your bucket list.
yeah, it's like it would just pretty much be like my 1 week bucket list, which would involve like being with family and all that stuff. But like excluded from that, it might be like going and seeing something I've never seen before. It would definitely not involve going to work. Why would I keep going to work?
Exactly.
But say it was 20 years, like then I have to maximize my resources and I need to survive for another 20 years. So it would definitely involve devoting some time to going to work and having a career and stuff like that. And so like it can totally change.
You could just go do some buck wild stuff if you knew you weren't going to die for 20 years. not even having to worry about the chance of death, you know?
He's like,
Just
"I'm
go on some
immortal."
like insane whitewater rafting, like that'd be kind of cool.
I mean, I'm sure the number.
That's an interesting way to
Wow,
look at it.
this is a great take.
Skydiving with no parachute. You're
Yeah, like if you're
how's
not
this
gonna die.
end?
And like right as you're about to hit, you're like, man, it never crossed my mind. That was just some weird old dude. I don't know where he got this. What if you looked at it and it was just like 5 seconds, and you look up and the old guy's just got a weird look on his face and crap. This dude's taking me out.
The main reason that I think that I wouldn't want to look at it is because I would be scared if I looked at it and it said like 1 week.
Okay.
Then I hope that I wouldn't, but that's besides the fact. But I would be really nervous that I would use it all for myself to fulfill my desires, like my dream
I
fishing
agree.
trip. And like, I wouldn't like that. And I don't think that I would be able to make the right decisions for the last days, you know? I feel like I would use it selfishly. Like I don't blame you if you want to go on your dream vacation, but I just don't feel like that's what I would want to spend my last days doing if I got to choose.
See,
I
that's
think
where
that as for me, like one thing I think about is like how I would do that time as a believer, and like the way the way it's gonna change my mentality. Where if I look and it says 40 years, I feel like I'll just go back to the status quo and live kind of selfishly. But I would hope that if it was that like, oh, you have 1 week left,
I think I'd be out there
situation,
just like
Yeah, I think
proclaiming the name of Jesus Christ
Yeah,
to
it would
like
just,
as
like,
many people as I
it would
possibly
like
could.
kick your butt into gear a little bit, which is weird because at the end of the day, it's like
You should be doing
today's not guaranteed, tomorrow's not guaranteed, but yet we live like we have 80 years left.
Yeah, but you can kind of have a strategy about evangelism, knowing or like expecting to not die tomorrow. Like there's people that like
And you also have to live, you know.
it's a marathon to like preach the good news to them. It's not just like a 1 day thing, you got to build that relationship. So like there's different strategies about it.
I'm just saying that like our whole life is a marathon, and that's why I think my reaction is still kind of like, no, I'm not going to look at it, and I'm not going to live my day like it's my last, in the sense of like I'm not going to live with total reckless abandon to do whatever I want.
No, that's not what I mean when I say
But
that.
for me, I want to live in a way that if it is my last, I feel good about the way I lived that day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where like if today was my last day and I was like, yeah, man, I just like had a great podcast with the guys and like ended on a Thanksgiving was good and I saw my family, I'm content with that.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm good with that.
But your perspective is more like you want to optimize the time you have, and
Right.
knowing when it happens can help you.
Exactly.
Gosh, you don't think that, say it was like 10 years.
No, I would not like knowing.
Say it was
dude.
like 10 years, you know, and you know the exact day. You don't think the closer you get, the more it's going to like suck?
You might come to peace with it eventually.
I mean, yeah. Either way, I mean, at some point in time, you're gonna die, and it's gonna suck. But you would at least get the things that you wanted to do done, and anything you wanted to achieve in life, you would know when you had to do it by.
So you have like a due date.
Dude,
basically.
yeah. I think that's when your true colors really shine, what you're living your life for. If someone told you you're going to die in a week. What you did with that, I think, would really show where your heart's at.
I'm going to see how many Popeyes chicken sandwiches I can put down.
Dude, weight's not an issue. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't gain that much.
That'd be,
weight.
hey,
How much weight could I gain in a week?
that is weird to think about the things that wouldn't really bother you anymore. But the thing is like, I think for some people they're like, oh, if it's not something you're thinking in the last week you have to live, then it's not something you should think about now. And I don't think that's true at all. Because for instance, say I did have 1 week left. I'm not going to like focus on my diet probably near as much as I do now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean right now I shouldn't focus on my diet.
I think that's
You
a rare
should.
case. I can't think of any other exceptions. to
Finances.
that.
I think finances is a huge one.
Okay, yeah, I agree
Last
with that too.
week, I'm going to just blow all my money, like however best I can, whether it's giving it to people,
That'd be sweet.
taking people to dinner, like doing something, like doing whatever. But if I don't know when I'm going to die and I'm assuming I'm going to be around for a while, no, fiscal responsibility is super important. And you
Right.
should plan for the future.
That's why you definitely want to look at it.
And that's
No.
where I see that.
I see it, but
I
I'm
don't
not
know why.
down
There's
for
like
it.
something in me that tells me that's not the right move.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's one.
I don't know why,
Here's
though.
one thing. No matter what your answer is to this, I think it'd be a lot harder to not look at it if that was actually.
I think curiosity would
I
get
don't.
me.
I don't. It wouldn't get me. I don't think. I'm pretty firm on it. I only said 90% because I can see where you're coming from, but I'm pretty much 100% that I wouldn't look at it. Cody, do you have any take on this? You're somewhere in the middle. You on my side? You on Weston's side? Where you at?
I don't have a side yet. I haven't made a definitive
Hey, you're
statement.
kind of floating.
I'm floating. I'm playing Switzerland right now.
I think I would probably look at it.
Dude, I
I
couldn't.
think.
Team West, huh?
Come on, Joel. You gotta be on my team, bro.
I mean, there's always that cliche. It's like you got to live every day like it's your last, right?
That's what we were saying, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have a better understanding of how much actual time you
Yeah,
have
just
on this earth
Kind
to
of
make
saying, like what you
to
can do
do
at that time.
to
If you can
make your
delegate it a little better.
impression and on anybody or anything, and kind of
It would be.
I feel like
It's so
I feel
hard.
like finding out what day you live gives you more of a freedom of what you actually want to do. It gives you that freedom of like,
Yep.
instead of like if you don't know when you're gonna die, like you'll work a 9 to 5 job you hate. You know what I mean?
Dude, I think you might
But-
run me over.
But if you
No
but
way.
if you know when you're gonna
Yeah, I'll
die,
explain
if you
why.
know when you're gonna die and money's technically not an object, so you're like, shoot, if I die in 2 months, like what matters how much money I carry over, because you can't take it with you when you're gone. It's like maybe you'll do a conservation, or like you'll try and change people's ways on fossil fuels or whatever whatever floats your boat.
Okay, Greta Thunberg.
I'm just saying, like whatever floats your boat, you will work your
Yeah,
hardest
so
towards
whatever
that.
you care most about is what you're just going to dedicate all
Exactly.
your
Like
time
if you care the most about your family, then you'll probably spend all of your time around your family.
to. And which right
It doesn't
now,
have to be something worldwide.
worldwide. Why?
Yeah.
So
Right now, though, if we assume we're going to live a long time, then we can't. We're in a weird situation where sometimes it's not practical and available to spend all of our time dedicated to what we're most passionate about.
exactly.
We have other things to take care of. I think
I
I
don't think
might have
so.
switched. I think I might have switched
I don't
because
agree with
this.
that.
Here's my thought. If you don't look at it, then you have to navigate your life as if you're going to live a long time. You pretty much have to.
No,
Yeah,
you don't.
you do.
No, you don't.
Because you have no assurance that you can just go out in a blaze of glory however you want.
That's real talk.
No, dude, that is not true. Because right now, I don't know when I'm gonna die.
And you're living as if you're planning for a future.
Yeah, but also,
Right? Because if
Yeah.
you weren't planning for a future, Barrett, like let's say your letter said a couple years, right?
Yeah.
But you have goals long ways that
You would
you're
give up
gonna
on
be
those.
you're
You would
gonna
give up
be
on
that you're gonna be that journeyman electrician with a family and a wife and kids, or I don't know if that's your actual goals, but if that is, then you only have 2 years. Like, do you start it right now,
You
or
would
do
stop-
you?
Okay.
You would
Okay.
stop your
Okay.
program. And
So
I'm saying
I
right
have I
now-
have my long-term goals,
Yeah.
but I'm also very much so living in comfort with tomorrow could be my last day.
No, I know. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the way you dedicate your time and your day
Mhm.
is set up in a way in which it's going towards a future. So like Cody said, you're in a program right now and you have 3 years left. Say you looked at that piece of paper and there was 2 years left. Why would you spend 40 hours a week in that program?
Dude, I think we're thinking about it way too worldly. We're thinking about it all in terms of what you're accomplishing on Earth. Like the
But-
main
No, but I'm saying
But that's your-
what
but
you
that's
give
your-
your time to when you're here.
But when you're born, that's your goal. Your goal when you're born is what are you going to do?
Look at it this way. If you want to look at
And
it
there's
that
nothing
way, Barrett,
worldly about working.
No,
Yeah,
there's
no,
nothing.
for sure. But what are you doing at work? Like it's a mission field.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
That's eternal.
say you didn't have to
You
worry about
turn
work.
every single part of your life has eternal influence.
Okay, so say I gave you $1 million right now and was like,
Okay.
there you go, you can live off that however you want for the next couple years. So basically what I'm saying is you don't have to worry about work.
No
You
more
could-
no more money is an issue.
You could find way more efficient ways to do mission than the way you do it at work. You could probably be way more involved. But because life is a balance act, you realize work is important. The Bible says to work. You should be working.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll turn that into a mission. But if you know, oh, I'm not going to be around long enough to even see this through, which also fills this other plan of mine.
No. What you're saying is if you didn't have to work, you could turn your mission into your full-time job.
Yeah.
But my mission is my full-time job. I just go to work at the same time.
So if you say you chose to look at the paper and find out when you were going to die, and it was in 2 years, and you were never even going to finish your program, you would still just keep going to that program.
What else am I going to do all day?
I think
Whatever you
there's
want.
other things to
Okay,
do.
I think the view I have on it is just more realistic. On like,
I think mine's more realistic than
I mean,
anyone
I
else's.
think
because
like
the whole I would live
Dude's
my
getting
day
feisty up here in the bear in the
as,
beard.
as if tomorrow's my last day. That's kind of a fairy tale statement.
No,
Nobody-
he doesn't
nobody
mean it
does
like
that.
I don't. But
Yeah,
he
back
doesn't.
me up, bro. Back me
No,
up.
I'm backing you up in the sense of like when you're supposed to live like. I think the way I phrased it is an important distinction of not living every day like it's your last day, but living in a way that if it were, you're okay with it.
Yep.
So
that's
like living
exactly
right.
where I'm
So
at.
living right, living upright, morally, like spending your time wisely, things like that.
Yeah, but you
And
can do that. Even
you
if
can do
look
that
at it.
anywhere. You can do that doing anything. And then I think that you need to, like, for Bear and I, like being like if he's taking a very like faith-based perspective, which I think is good, you also have to understand that your faith should encapsulate your whole life. So it's the practical and the spiritual. It's all one thing. And so that's where I agree with you, where it's like, if I'm planning for a long life, that involves a lot of practical steps, like having a decent job that can supply for me and my family. But if I'm not going to be around long enough, I could probably just use that time better.
Okay, here.
That's what I'm saying.
How about this take? So, another issue that I would have with looking at it is like right
Just
now,
entrenching. You're just digging a deep trench right now.
dude. No,
You're just like, forget
right.
you guys. I'm not looking.
Right now, I'm living my life. Right, I'm in the apprenticeship program. Whatever, I got my
Yeah.
stuff going on. And I'm living my life for Christ.
Okay.
I feel like if I knew the day that I would die, I would take the reins and try and steer my life where I want it to go. Not knowing kind of forces you to keep it out of your hands. Do you kind of see where I'm going with
having
that?
to like walk,
If
kind of
you
walking
knew,
in the like trepidation of it could happen at any time.
yeah, not constant fear. That's kind of a weird way to say it, but it's kind of true.
No, I think it's a normal. It's
But
a decent way to say it.
If you knew the day that it was coming and the time, you would
So you're saying
grab
you
a
just
hold of
think
the
you get
steering wheel of
selfish
your
with it.
life and you would take it where you want it to go for yourself. That's my take on that.
Dude, that might
I
just
don't-
be. That's a personal problem. It sounds like.
No, it's
Yeah,
not a
you
problem.
wouldn't
It's not a
you wouldn't have
problem.
to do
It's
that.
it's not a problem.
Okay, here's the thing about your mission at work is what I was thinking when you were talking about that. You work with like roughly the same people every day.
Yeah, for the most part.
So I feel like if you had a week left, instead of going to work and continue to talk
Oh,
to the
yeah, I
same
see where you're
people,
going.
you
Yeah, if I had
could,
a week, I probably wouldn't go to work.
like
But if I had a couple years, I'd just carry on what I'm
okay,
doing.
even that. I mean, still you could go out throughout the world and tell way more people if that's what you wanted to do. Or
Who's to say that I wouldn't have more influence on people at home than I would in a foreign country, though? That's what I'm
I'm saying
saying.
you
It's
can
not in my
reach more
control.
people.
Total rabbit hole, but I am all about native mission work, staying in your country, working with people you know.
no, yeah, I'm
And
not
I
saying
don't
you
think
have
it's
to
a
go-
bad thing to go other places. I think
I'm not
it's a
saying
great
I'm
thing.
not even talking about other countries.
Great thing.
I'm saying like you could walk
I totally
through
understand. What you're
other
saying.
towns around your area, and you'd reach way more people than just the people you work with.
I feel like God's going to use you the way He's going to use you. And if you know the day you're going to die, you're going to try and skew that and take it to where you want it to go.
Right, I agree. There's a reason why we don't have the ability to know when. we're gonna
Yeah,
die.
I think
that's
we
where you
can
find the
skew anything.
balance between it's a hypothetical situation. It's like you would never actually be able
All right,
to
let's
know
go
that.
to this. Let's go to this. Just as a like practical, like would you want to know thing? Like would you be less or more comfortable knowing when you're going to die?
Be way, way, way more comfortable not knowing.
Okay.
No, you'd be more comfortable knowing.
No, you would be. So
You-
you're more comfortable knowing.
Everybody would be.
No.
I don't think you'd say everybody would be more comfortable. I'd probably rather not know, but I totally empathize with the side that says you could plan. Like I
I
understand.
get what you're saying.
I'm
no
just
doubt.
an analytical person, so I think that it would help me to know so that I could plan things out. But I don't know. I think when it came to it, I wouldn't look.
But here's the thing:
No.
you're flying down the road, sneaky corner, you start skidding your tires, and you're like, "Well, I got 10 more years. I'm good."
No, and
you wouldn't get scared.
if that's how it was, if that old man was like, yeah, no, if you can do whatever you want, you
could hold your breath underwater for so long.
That would be awesome.
So on this YouGov, it's a UK website.
Oh, I don't care then.
Okay, no, but listen, they did a poll for age groups for when and or how they'll die or neither. Okay, so did a poll. So like you either get to know when you die or how you die, and the other side
so
is
they're asking,
neither.
What would you rather know
Yes.
or neither?
So
okay.
From this poll,
I don't
on
wanna know
every
how.
None
single,
of the above, dude.
on every single age group, meaning from there's an age group for 18 to 24, 25 to 35. Everybody says no. Like the majority says no.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is
they
what
get
I'm talking
the
about.
weird thing is you get closer. So 18,
Is that a wait? Hold on. That's a pod point to Barrett.
Well, no, they're in
so
the
like
UK,
so like listen to this. Like 18 to 24, that age group, 40% of them said they'd rather know, and 52% says they'd neither.
That does
Who
not
would wanna
equal
know
100%.
how?
You
But-
said 40% and
But then they have
52%.
that you have the percentage that doesn't care.
Oh, I see.
But when you get to 55 plus, which is their last age group that they like audited, 74% says they'd rather not know.
Boom.
Dude,
And
you gotta go with that
21%.
wisdom. You got to go with the elderly. wisdom.
21% says I'd want to know. So it's
You
like
guys
it's
are
a
in the
weird
minority on this one.
it's a weird climb from that 18-year-old
No,
group.
okay, that's different because when you're that old, it wouldn't matter as much. Like, who cares? You're already expecting to die tomorrow.
No, I think you're getting
Oh God.
55.
That is
Our
not that
parents
old,
are
bro.
55.
No, my
Oh,
parents
that
are
was
55.
55?
It was 55
55 plus.
So a lot of them.
I'm talking about older.
I guarantee that the what was it, Cody? Like the 20-something% of the people who wanted to know
At 55, yeah.
at 55, I guarantee those are the younger people of the group.
No,
I
but
would
fi-
be-
so you're saying like
I'm saying
those
that,
people are
like,
like the 55s.
Those are like
Right.
the 55
And the 74 is
and
like-
the 70-year-old
is probably like
no, don't
60, 70%. Okay, but that brings up a good point. It's like if you've led that full life, if you've led that 70, if you're 70 years old, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you've led that full life. Does it matter if you want to know at that point?
And once you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's what
Exactly. That's what I'm
You
saying.
know,
Is like
climb Everest?
if you're 70 years old, like does it matter? Because it matters when you're 18, right?
Yeah, because you think you have a lot of time.
Exactly.
Knowing you don't would help you in a way.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like this is a question that's like based on your age. So it's like if we brought
it'll change
if
as
we
you get
brought
older.
if we brought my grandpa in,
What,
for
am I going to
example.
get older and want to know all of a sudden?
No,
you won't.
No, you
No.
won't. Because
No.
my let's say
You're
for
just
example,
someone who doesn't want to know.
my grandpa who's 72 years old or 73 has almost four generations of family right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like he's already seen his plan and his dreams and his I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
if he's got all of his goals, so it's like it doesn't matter. I've seen it all. But then you look at, the youngest generation who's like
The
10
world
years
is our
old.
oyster.
10 years old, they're like, well, I want to see where my life goes because I want it to be the same. So it's like if you already know where your road, if you've already seen your road, it's like it doesn't matter when I'm going to die. But if you haven't seen your
You
life
want the
to
ability to plan.
Right.
your life to
I
completion.
totally agree with that. If I was
But
old,
you two are there. I think I've finally fallen on the. I just think you should live every day as if it were your last day, you're content. You're content with it. Just
Right.
Live
Not
in a good
spend
way.
it on not spend it on
no,
I
I
think
agree with that.
Live,
but
live
that's
for
not-
live for a future, but
not spend it on the
But
minute
don't
stuff.
count on it.
don't count. Yeah, there you go. Live as if there's a future, but don't think it's a guarantee.